I'll open us off. Race 8, go to do the late pick 5. Or I guess let's just comment on the card overall real quick. Just overall thoughts. I thought it was kind of a mixed bag. Breeders' Cup, some good races, a lot of good turf races, but a couple races came in kind of lightweight for me. Just competition wise. Any thoughts about the card?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't done nearly as much as I've usually done to this point on the Breeders' Cup. So I've really only looked at the big races. I haven't really looked a ton at the undercard, but I think the sequence we're looking at and the big races are good betting races for sure. I think they're really hard. I don't think there's a lot of standouts, so that's good. Should lead to some good prices, and if you can only have to be right a couple times, have a good weekend.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this sequence is probably the heftier part of the card as far as just quality races. We'll start off with the race 8.5 mile Longines Breeders' Cup Turf Grade 1. I'll start off. I found it really hard to get away from the chalk in this race. In the other races, I pretty much exclusively was looking at bombs, but um, I just with the one post, Rebels Romance makes a lot of sense to me here. I think he can kind of use that one post to get where he needs to be. There's a couple horses in here that will probably want to be forward. There was more forward horses in this turf race than um like maybe the other two or however many other turf races there are in this pick 5 combined. There was a lot of horses that like to be at the front of the pack here. So that was I guess the one worry um with Rebels Romance is he does this thing and he's done it a lot. And William Buick, I guess, likes to do it where he really lets the pace develop a little bit, and then if it's a lighter pace, they just go ahead to the front like a mid move every single time. So I guess the one concern would be there is like a pace battle, and Rebel this Romance gets caught up in that at some point. But um, I don't know. I just the one post the horses that will go forward, I think he can just kind of let them do their thing and he'll finish up strong. So I had him on top, Rebels Romance. I just couldn't get away from the chalk here. There's maybe another horse or two I would look at, but let's see what you had first.
Yeah, this isn't my favorite betting race. I do think um, the favorites look pretty tough. I mean, I think even Goliath, the two, I think has a chance, and um, the 8 is a really solid European two. It's a short price, but the one American I like at a price is the Chad Brown, Flavien Pratt. Horse, good post, four posts, ran behind Rebels Romance last time, but it's a good race. Stayed on. Didn't lose any ground in the stretch. Rebels Romance was setting a slow pace, so I think that horse is sneaky at a big price. Kind of second off a little bit of a layoff. That it looks like they were, um, clearly going for this race. So I think um, that horse is pretty dangerous, and I think he'll get a good trip with Pratt. So that'd be my one price play in that race. But other than that, I think the European favorites are pretty formidable.
Yeah, I was a little bit interested in the two other horses in that race, the redistricting and Elk Ordora Bays. Um, Mini Hulk, I couldn't get to. I mean, outside post, she's a 3-year-old filly coming into like this heavy hitting uh, Colts and Geldings race. She likes to be mid pack. I thought she might get trapped outside a little bit, but yeah, the horses you mentioned are pretty much the other ones I was looking at.
Yeah, I'll probably end up tossing Mini Hawk too. I think 1, 2, 4 is my top three for sure, and yeah, I'll probably have to toss that other chalk with the post. But
We'll go on to the 9.25 mile Longines Breeders' Cup Classic Grade 1, the big dirt race. You mind opening this up?
yeah, I'm watching Del Mar right now. They're going to the gate, so um, getting a little bit of prep going. This race is really hard. Um, yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks with Sovereignty out, um, but I think price play I like is Beza. Um, I think this horse just keeps getting better with every race. Kind of a really well developing 3-year-old, and I just think it could be his race. I think there's not a lot separating the good 3-year-olds from the older horses, the top three, and I think that one could just peak at the right time. I mean, should be a fast pace, so I mean, you could make really a case for any horse in this race, and I wouldn't blame you. Um, I just think if Bays is a decent price, he'll be the one I play. But I don't even know if I'll be betting this race much. I think it's really really hard. Um, should be a great watch, but um, I mean, I could really you know say I like make a case for any horse in this race.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely can. I like Beza too a lot more now that Sovereignty's out. Um, I had on top the 5 Forever Young. I was really interested in him here in this race. Coming off second race off a layoff, that race back in April. Lost a hit show who just came back heavy hitting in Keeneland. Um, and the last 2 times this horse has come to America and raced at a mile and a quarter, he saw faster fractions than I think he's gonna see here today. And um, used kind of a different style in both of those races. Came off the pace a bit in the Kentucky Derby, and then was right off a really fast pace last year at Del Mar, and still held on the third um, against some of the other horses in this race. So I thought that was enough for me to put him as my top pick in this race. Um, yeah, but like you said, I think you can make a similar case for a lot of these horses, and I just like the tactical ability of Forever Young, and I think he might get a favorable setup for the first time on the American Dirt.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think I just lost a photo in the last. I like had the 3 Del Mar. Um, I mean that horse is legit. It's the real deal. I mean, um, it could definitely win this race. If with the rabbit, could set it up for Sierra Leone. Mind Frame is an unbelievable horse. Um, you know, Antiquarians kind of ran some really good races. It's he's in his top form. I think he fits tough post, but I don't know. Yeah, I just fierceness. If they don't go too fast, he works out a good trip. He could definitely win, especially the way he ran at Del Mar last time. Um, so yeah, I won't knock any horse you have in this race with the Sovereignty out. So
I'll be curious what some of these final odds come net to after the Sovereignty scratch, especially journalism. I mean, does he get down to something crazy like 4-1 or something?
yeah, I hope so. That I don't like journalism. I don't think he. I mean, he's a really good horse, but I don't think he's at the level of these. Um, I definitely prefer Beza over him. I think he kind of peaked early, and it's kind of just stayed the same. Um, so I mean, he's game and awesome, but I just don't know if he has the next gear. I think for he would have to improve to win this race, and I'm just not sure.
We'll go on to the 10 now. Mile back to the turf. Breeders' Cup. FanDuel. Grade 1. Yeah, a lot of closers in this race. The next this one and the next turf race, just a lot of closers. So it's going to be really trip dependent. Um, I was looking at horses that can get to the inside. You're probably not going to see a whole lot of pace in these next two turf races, and yeah, you're going to see, I think, tight packs and just a lot of crazy finishes, hard running groups of horses. So, um, with that in mind, on top, I put program training on top. Um, yeah, just kind of that tactical speed, just off the pace. Probably gets a decent possible inside post depending on how the other horses break inside. But they were mainly closing horses. Notable speech as well. Good shot in this race. I just didn't think the pace gets there maybe, and that's why I put program trading up ahead of him. Um, Not too much. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to add here. I just program trading. I thought maybe trips out at a good price, and I liked them a little bit better than notable speech. What did you think?
Yeah. I that's another one I do think um similar to the other turf race that I liked. That one is definitely my favorite. American kind of same thing. Good post, Chad Brown, favoring Pratt. And I think you're right where he's gonna. I think he's just gonna get a perfect rail pocket trip. Um, with kind of that nice draw with closers, and yeah, there's no pace in this race. Um, the 9 Argene, the Japanese horse, um, that horse has a little bit of speed, and I think Dottori might be aggressive with him. I think um, I think these Japanese horses are, just continue to get better and better every year, and she's ultra consistent. So I think she might be a live bomb. Um, and then the 10, I thought ran really well with a terrible post and trip last time, and gets a terrible trip and post again. But second time off the layoff, second time in America, um, maybe that horse can do something. But yeah, I think it's tough. I think this is a tough race because that's all pretty much all closers. So it's just kind of who's going to trip out. But yeah, I think program trading is probably my top pick too. So let's get that one home at 10-1.
All right, let's send it. Yeah, it's pretty rare we both agree on a long shot, so um, definitely keep your eye out on that. Yeah, I like John Quill the 10 as well. I was wondering why they didn't just go back with Dylan Davis, because now you get a Euro jockey coming in that isn't even really familiar with the horse, just one race with them. Um, yeah, so with that in the outside post, that's why I was made. I just kind of uh, kept it slim on this one, program trading. So we'll move on to the 11th. Another interesting dirt race. I think I made a clear image of this one, but do you mind opening it up and letting us know what you had?
Um, yeah, I think goal oriented is my top pick in this race. 6-1 morning line. Um, I just think this is a really talented Baffert colt that kind of got a late start to the year. Thought ran huge at Churchill, and it just hasn't gotten the distance in its last 3 grade 1s. Um, just wants that cut back to a mile. Kind of looks like a perfect spot. Should get a nice pocket trip, and definitely have the finish going a mile. So I think that one should just sit right up the speed and be really dangerous, and is a better price than Niso's. Who I think would probably be. I think this is going to be a Baffert race, so um, I do like that horse. I mean, my boy Full Serrano from last year.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he's wonderful.
yeah, I don't.
It's
I
gonna be
think
hard
there's
for him
gonna.
here.
No, yeah. I mean, Citizen Bowl. They're gonna go fast up front. Um, I guess the 9 Touch of Destiny is a speedball too. Um, that just is gonna go winging it. So um, I think maybe a bomb is Chancer McPatrick. If this race does heat up a ton on the front end, I mean, just dead closer, huge late pace figures, um, could maybe this one they just haven't had can't really marry the perfect distance and um, for him, but the mile kind of looks right to me. Where if you get maybe a meltdown type race, I think he even here, but uh, probably the 3 is unfortunately the most next likely winner at 8 to 5. But goal oriented is definitely my play here.
Okay. Yeah, I like your take on it. I had goal oriented as well, underneath my second choice. Um, I feel the same way you do about the 9 Touch of Destiny and the 8 Chance of Patrick. Like they both kind of they have a shot if certain things go their way. I could definitely see the pace heating up a little bit in this race, maybe, and Chancellor McPatrick gets into it. Touch of Destiny, I mean, was interesting. Yeah, probably going to be the front running horse, and like the times kind of come back as competitive against these other horses. I just didn't. I mean, the class is a huge doubt coming from Uruguay, so I don't know. I just imagine gets burned out on the front. I had White Barrio though as my other choice with goal oriented, kind of a tactical horse. Speed figures are there. Cutback was going a mile and a quarter last. Had a little jostle bump early, kind of wide trip. So just made a decent move into the stretch. Gained a little ground, but just had ran wide and tired. So cutting back now with the tactical ability, hopefully gets it like in a tracking path behind the front running group of horses. I thought had a good shot, and the class is definitely there. So other than goal oriented and the other horses you mentioned, I had goal oriented with Wida Barrio as my top two.
Yeah, I mean White Barrio is probably the most talented runner in the field,
Yeah,
classiest if he runs this race. I just thought I mean I'd be surprised if he's actually 8 to 1. And it's probably one I can't leave off. Uh, they've shipped him back down to Gulfstream, get his bullet works in, so he looks like. I mean, Safi probably has him ready to roll. Um, but I think it would have to be the Safi magic that I don't know his last 3 races have. I thought he was going to be after the Pacific Classic. I mean, I thought he was going to be unbeatable this year. Um, I thought that was an unbelievably impressive, easy domination. And yeah, I mean the Met, the Whitney, and the Jockey Club. I don't think he's been really disappointing. So I definitely he's just one of those like I would never key him in the verticals, but or either first or run out. Like I don't think he's gonna run like second or third. Um, but I mean definitely I could definitely see him winning for sure. And yeah, the I do think with Full Serrano and Citizens Bowl that there will be a hot pace, but those horses aren't. I mean, there's a chance that they just kind of let Touch of Destiny clear. Just not really respecting him, and yeah, I don't know. It could be yeah, it could be a wonky bomb that yeah, I'll probably have some tickets with with that going on.
yeah,
Maybe he pulls a crazy upset.
yeah. It's worth some kind of little ticket. I mean, it's same race that your import angle worked last year with Full Serrano. We just didn't get to see Touch of Destiny come in and run an American race to really look at the class at all. Um, yeah, just gonna be pace dependent though. So first or nothing, probably.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's finish it up. Mile and 3/8 turf. If you've hit a couple these longer shots we've mentioned at this point, I mean, this is going to be a good payout. Better than like any of the Keeneland last few week horizontal bets.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
this sequence is no joke. I think this could be a really good Breeders' Cup for prices.
oh yeah, it's
Just not as
stacked. It's in some of
yeah.
in that question, it's pretty stacked.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm gonna look tonight at tomorrow. From what I've heard, it's kind of the there's some heavily favored like Europeans and stuff, but on Saturday there doesn't seem to be a ton of like heavy favorites.
No, like Nisos is the heaviest price morning line, and I think that's a crazy price. He probably doesn't even hold that price. 8 to 5.
Yeah, I would definitely not bet him at that price.
But you mind opening this one up? I think uh finishes off race 12.
Um, yeah, this race is pretty difficult. Um, I don't really think there's a ton of major quality in here. Um, I mean, she feels pretty. Um, I think is definitely the best horse, but Johnny V 13 post in a 3-turn race. Um, that's just not going to be for me, even though I am a big fan of that filly. Um, her losing that Diana though this year makes me think she's not necessarily as good as she was last year. I mean, I'd probably put the 9 Cinderella's Dream on top. I thought, I mean, ran huge behind Moira last year. Um, I think she's definitely I think she's the one to beat. Honestly, not a great post either at the 9. Um, so yeah, I think um, I think that would be probably the one I have on top. But I mean, I think the 6 just missed against Sheesfield pretty last time. Um, I mean, the Europeans are pretty formidable, and I think it could be like a random European bomb that wins this. Um, I just I don't. I think I just gonna play something against She's Feels Pretty, but I don't really love anything else in here, so that's kind of annoying. Um, yeah, so who knows? But I'd say 6 and 9 are probably my top two.
Okay, yeah, I feel you. The 6, the 9. I think this is her race to lose. Yeah, I think that race last year was maybe even a little bit more difficult than this race, but Moira was just huge and um, super informative for that race.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is I don't the mile race and then stretching back out. I just think I don't know. It's kind of tough.
The way I read that is I
No,
think they're gonna try to put her forward. Just probably seeing how it went for
yeah,
her sitting further off pace last year, and then in that mile race they had her like forward mid pack, and she just didn't have the speed for a mile. But just watching that race and um, they're probably reading knowing how American race is set up and just it's a little bit more trip dependent. They probably just want to get her in a good spot. And there really isn't a lot of pace in this race, just like the last turf race. I think you can see a lot of it's going to probably be a small pack of horses, just kind of trip dependent, who gets to sit on the inside and break free. So maybe just pushing her a little forward up to try to get a nicer pocket spot.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean that that race last year in the Breeders' Cup was definitely a winning one. So
yeah, I will mention my bomb though, and I took the two Charles out Appleby horses, the 6 and the 9. Yeah, for all the reasons you said. 6, if you like She Feels Pretty, then this horse just lost to a head by a head, coming into a slower pace than you're probably going to see here. So Charles Appleby as well. So just take those two, and then my bomb. I like the two Stellify. This younger horse didn't race a lot as a 3-year-old, but improving as a 4-year-old. Gonna be forward placed, but can come a little bit off the pace. Like hasn't got a whole lot of chance to come a lot off the pace since the maiden. Um, but I don't see why this horse couldn't come a little bit off the pace, especially if she gets a really nice forward pocket trip. Um, yeah, I just like the setup for her. I think she's gonna be close to a moderate pace, has a good late kick, has good speed figures, good late speed figures that hold up. Obviously, off the Kentucky Downs, good track. So you can't. I don't know how much you can just run with that speed figure and everything, but she's got other races that hold up. That Churchill race, I guess the maiden, I guess, is the most comparable. But I was impressed with what I've seen from this horse, and I think if she's gonna get a shot at a good trip just off a slower pace, like I liked her at 30-1.
Yeah, no, I was actually gonna mention that horse too. Um, yeah, I wish the 7 wasn't in this race. Um, just because that one's gonna just get go to the lead, I think. But yeah, I don't think there'll be a lot of pace. So even if you're just sitting in that perfect pocket trip or sitting in second on a slow pace on a fast, firm Delmar turf, yeah, I definitely don't hate that bomb at all. So
I would mention also the 12. I didn't like the post equally like She Feels Pretty, but improving speed figures ever since this year, ever since she came to America, but specifically since her second race where she came in the third behind She's Feels Pretty, just huge jump ups in the speed fig. Miguel Clement's been on fire this year. Gets Tyler Gaffaleon here. I think a rider improvement. I just thought the post was not going to be it for this race.
I don't hate any long shots in this race. Uh, yeah, I think it's a pretty wide open one. So
Hopefully, it's a good payout tomorrow. Or when is it? Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday, yeah.
Not tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I gotta start working on tomorrow right now. So um, and I gotta do the rest of the card on Saturday too. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I was not really that hyped for it this year. Just I don't know. Yeah, horse racing is going in the wrong direction, but yeah, these races that are look pretty good for betting. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think like the California turf and stuff can sometimes um, play a little bit different. Um, so sometimes in these allowance races or other races on maiden or I don't know how many maiden races will be in the cards, but you can get some there's some big underlays today on like some European shippers first time in America getting like bet to favoritism and run like fifth and off the board. So um, yeah, I don't the short price European grass horses. Probably be taking a shot against most of them.
Yeah, especially this year, I feel like there's a lot of closers in that group coming over from Europe,
Yeah, if you can.
and they've all ran on. I forget which horse I was watching the replay. They even had it listed as very soft ground, so just not a lot of firm ground experience at all this year.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently the 2-year-olds are monsters, but yeah, the older horses. I didn't really like the Europeans as much as I normally do for a big day like this.
Which probably means it'll be all European, so
Yeah, yeah, that's probably true.
at terrible prices. All right, any plugs, anything you want to drop before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm hungry. I gotta eat.
All right, take it easy, man.
Alright, later.